Many years ago, a lot of people will remember there was a U.S. merchant ship off the coast of Somalia. It was the Maersk Alabama. That was the name of the ship. And it got attacked by Somali pirates. And the Navy SEALs came. Four of the pirates captured Captain Phillips. They took him off the vessel. And the Navy SEALs came. They ended up killing 3 of the pirates. The 4th one was captured, and they got the crew and were able to release them. But the interesting thing about that case is that at the time there was a lot of piracy attacks off the coast of East Africa, mainly coming out of Somalia. And so we found out, we got a call from the cook on the ship after this happened. What had happened was this was national news. Captain Phillips came back. He was hailed as a hero, and the crew and Captain Phillips got together and they said, "Hey, let's write a book about our experience." And Captain Phillips basically told him, "I'm not interested in doing that with you guys." And the crew was like, "Well, you were the one that caused us to be in harm's way, and now you're getting all this credit for it." And so I started getting phone calls from the crew about maybe representing them in the case. I started looking into the case. I started investigating it more and more. This is before there was a big movie about the case. So ultimately there was a movie that came out starring Tom Hanks as Captain Phillips. That hadn't come out yet, but they had announced it in the middle of the case. So we were really concerned about the publicity of the case and the Hollywood publicity machine. So at the time we had to basically take on this huge shipping company, Maersk Alabama, and also the Hollywood publicity machine at the same time, which was a lot of work, but we were able to do it. It was a very, very hard-fought case. When we got into the case, we realized that there were a lot of problems with Captain Phillips and the shipping company. For example, they were told to stay more than a certain distance, more than a certain nautical miles. I think it was 200 nautical miles, maybe a little bit less than that, off the coast of Somalia. The reason they were told that is because the ships that the pirates use, and the pirates were mainly fishermen, they can't go out that far. Well, Captain Phillips decided to take a shortcut and got twice as close to the coast of Somalia as he was supposed to. We also said, by the way, and this is something I'm really proud of, that if you're going to take sailors into pirate-infested waters, you should give them a means to protect themselves, whether that's firearms, water cannons, some way to protect themselves, because at the time there was tons of pirate attacks, but nobody had any way to defend themselves. The shipping company was really adamantly against arming the sailors in these dangerous waters, and the claim was they might shoot each other or be even more dangerous. Well, now it's standard practice when you're in these waters to have multiple self-defense mechanisms. So this case literally changed the way that all sailors are protected by their companies when they're in dangerous waters. The case was all over the news. It was in the New York Times, London's Daily Telegraph. I got interviewed by Nightline and Dateline and some other places. And after a very, very long, hard-fought legal battle that literally ended up with cases in Virginia, in Alabama, in Houston, we were able to settle the case. Well, I represented half the crew of the ship. We were able to settle the case for a confidential amount.